Torah or Dach Yomi, finishing the Maimer Erdana, the second Erdana. So we're speaking before about the difference between Das Elyon and Das Tachton, the two ways that Hashem looks at the world. Das Elyon means the way that Hashem is the creator, the author of the story, and so he already knows everything that's going to happen. And so it's not that based on what we do, that's what he knows. He knows that because he knows everything, that's how everything exists. Das Tachton means that Hashem brings himself down to us, like he's a character in the story that he's creating, that he deals with us based on what we do. That if we do good things, then he'll treat us good. And if we don't do good things, he'll try to teach us how to do better. And so on the level of Das Tachton, where Hashem makes himself like as a character in our story, so Hashem's knowledge of what's happening is based on what we're doing. That based on what we're doing, that's what Hashem knows. And we said that in Das Tachton itself, in how Hashem is dealing with us on our level, there's two ways that he could deal with us. In a way of kindness and a way of severity. What does that mean? It means in everything you could look at it two ways. That's we said in the previous part of the Maimer that Hashem said he's going to destroy the world because a person always is thinking about doing bad things the whole day, so he has to destroy all the people because they always want to do bad things. And then after the flood, Noach brought a carbon, and Hashem said, you know what, I'm not going to destroy the world anymore. You know why? Because the person always wants to do bad things. It's not his fault. It's Yitzhar. So the same svara, the same logic we use to say why he should destroy the people is the same logic we used why he shouldn't destroy the people. So what does that mean? It means that if you're in a mode of giving and kindness, so then you'll look at it favorably, positively, and you'll try to find why it's not such a bad thing. And if you're in a judging mood, a mood of severity, so then you'll take it that, it's a bad thing. So everything you can look at in a way of kindness and a way of severity. So Hashem, the way that he deals with us, is also in those two ways. So based on this concept, we're going to explain how Hashem dealt with Sodom and Amorah. The people of Sodom and Amorah, they're very bad. So Hashem said, if what they're doing is so bad that even according to my kindness, I can't find a way to get them out of being destroyed, then I'll have to destroy them because I have no choice. But if I could find a way through kindness, then maybe I could get out of having to destroy them. From severity, they definitely have to be destroyed because they deserve to be destroyed. But in kindness, maybe he'll try to find a way. And in the end, he didn't find a way, so whatever. Okay, Vizeo, Pirsh Erdana. So in the original Torah, on the Tes Vav, Gimel, whatever the second half of Tes Vav at the top, Vizeo, Pirsh Erdana. So this is what it means, I'm going to go down. Meaning that Hashem will go down and look at the world in a way of kindness. When it says the cry of what's happening in the city of Sodom and Amorah, that means the way that Hashem's looking at it in a way of severity, from below to above, which that's called returning light. What does that mean, returning light? When you look in a mirror, so you see your own reflection. The light bounces back upwards. And that's the idea of severity, because the idea of severity is that it's going back into yourself. When you have money, and you have two options. Either you could extend it outward and give it to the other poor person, or you could retract your hand to yourself and say, no, it's all for me. Nobody else gets. That's called or chayzer, right? You're keeping it to yourself. That's the idea of severity. What's that? Namar Erdana, Lashinirida, Humilamayla Mata. And that's why Erdana going to come down. That's called from above to below. That's called direct light. That is just coming and shining downward. When he's extending out his hand, he gives to the poor person. Shubachinas Chesed, which that's the idea of kindness. That's the attribute of kindness. To find favor, to find merit for the people, that he shouldn't have to destroy them. Ve'era, and I'm going to see, that if, like the cry of what's happening in the city that's coming to me, if that's what they really did, oz kala, meaning that if their sin was so bad that even according to Hashem's kindness, He can't find a way to find a merit for them, then He'll have to destroy them. That's what it means. He's going to come down, he's going to look with kindness at their court case. In other words, that's the actual court case, meaning they did this and this. So what do they deserve? They deserve this and this. So what do they deserve? They deserve to be punished. That's the strict judgment. So Hashem's going to say, I'm going to look with kindness at that judgment, at their court case. I'm going to look favorably and see if I can find a way out. And if it's so bad that even according to my kindness, the kind way of looking at the court case, then if even in Hashem's kindness of looking at the court case, you can't find a merit, then I'll have to destroy them. And if not, meaning that He's not going to have a reason to destroy them, that Hashem's kindness will prevail, that He could find a merit for them, then He won't destroy them. So that's how we're explaining the pasuk, that Hashem was saying that He's going to look with kindness at the case, and if in Hashem's kindness He can find a merit for them, then He won't destroy them, and if not, He'll have to destroy them. This is what it says in the Midrash, that Hashem said He's going to come down. Where is He coming down? He's coming down from mercy to judgment. And in Zohar it says He's going to come down from mercy to also the same idea, from mercy to judgment. Which apparently is the opposite of what we said before. What did we say before? That Hashem wants to come down to show His kindness. And here it's saying He's coming down to severity, to judgment. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to come down and bring this kindness and mercy into the severity. So in other words, when it says He's going to come down from the level of mercy to the level of judgment, it doesn't mean He's going to go away from His mercy and now only have judgment. It means in the judgment, in that court case, He's going to look with mercy and see if He can find a way out from destroying them. So Rashi on Chumash on the pasuk says, what do we learn from Hashem saying He's going to go down and look, when Hashem already knows everything, and Hashem doesn't have to go down to look, and Hashem doesn't have to look. He already knows everything. He doesn't have to stare to look to find out. Hashem already knows. So it's to teach us a lesson that judges shouldn't paskin. They shouldn't decide a case of life or death unless they see with their own eyes exactly what it is. Unless they can see what it is, meaning that they see two witnesses that come and testify exactly, and it's completely clear to them. So, what is the idea of seeing, and what's the lesson to us from this idea that they need to see? It says in the Tikkun Zohar that the 10 spheres they come in three groups, three aspects. One is called Arich, one is called Katsir, one is called Benuni. Arich means long, meaning extending. One is Katsir, means shortening, meaning retracting. And Benuni means in between, meaning exact balance between extending and contracting. Pirish ki es is nachlakim legimel kavin kavia min chachma chesed netzach nikrachad arich. In the 10 spheres, there's three lines, three groupings. The grouping on the right has three spheres: chachma, chesed, and netzach, which is called the aspect of the spheres which is long, which is extending, meaning that these three spheres are showing on how Hashem extends Himself downwards towards the created beings, how Hashem reveals Himself outwards. Because the idea of kindness is to go and extend yourself forward, and this is by all three spheres. The idea of chachma is that was hidden in your ability to understand. Now comes a new flash of insight. So it's a new coming down of insight, of knowledge. That's the idea, also the idea of extension. And kindness, obviously, the idea of extending outwards. And netzach means to prevail in fulfilling what you want to do, That's also the idea of extending yourself outwards. That even if there's obstacles, nothing's going to stop you from extending and accomplishing your mission. Because kindness extends everywhere, so it's both for poor people and for rich people. Right? That's the difference between tzedakah and gemilas chasadim. Charity of giving money is only for poor people. They need money. Rich people don't need money. Kindness means not giving money. It means to show kindness, to come and say something nice and show them that you care about them. And that's for poor people and rich people, meaning everyone needs to be shown kindness. So kindness is for everyone. So kindness extends even more than rachmim, which is mercy. Because on a rich person, there's no idea of mercy. Meaning, you don't need to show rachmanis on the rich person. Because he doesn't need your gifts. He doesn't need... Huh?
Not that it's not shy of rachmanis.
Yeah. The rich person doesn't need your rachmanis that you need to give him matanas. Kiim al-hani, only a poor person that he needs people to give him things. So on him you have rachmanis. But rich person, there's no rachmanis. But what is there for a rich person? There's chesed. There's no rachmanis, there's no mercy, but there is kindness. What does that mean? It means a rich person, you could be kind to him, you could show him that you care about him. Everybody needs kindness. Kindness is for everyone. It's mispashet yosir mikulam. Whereas rachmanis is only if somebody needs, and they don't necessarily deserve, but you still give them anyways. Like this poor person, that you never borrowed money from him, you don't owe him anything, but nonetheless, you should give him because he needs. That's called rachmanis. The rich person, he doesn't need, so why are you being kind to him? You're being kind because you're kind to everyone, so you should also be kind to him. What's the left column? That's 3 spheres. Bina, Gevur, and Hoid. That's called the aspect, the one aspect which restricts, which limits. That the idea of severity is that you only give to somebody that deserves. If somebody only acts with severity, he says, well, the poor person, if I owe him money, then I'll give him money. And if I don't owe money, I'm not giving him money. But because he needs, I have to give him. That's what severity, right? That's not kindness or mercy. Right? Kindness says we should give to everyone. Mercy says if he needs, that we should give him. Severity says I give him if he deserves. If I owe him, then I'll give him. And if I don't owe him, then I won't give him. That's called severity. In other words, it's the same exact person, it's the same exact situation, but there's 3 ways you could look at it. And this is in all 3 aspects. So Bina, Gevur, and Hoid. Bina means you have a flash of insight, and you're limiting, restricting. It means this and doesn't mean something else. Right? Chachma means you can interpret it in many different ways. Bina means you interpret it this way and not any other way. You're limiting it. And Gevura obviously is limiting. You're restricting what you're giving. And Hoid, which also means self-restraint, is also the idea of limiting. Not limiting what you're giving, but limiting yourself. So those are 3 aspects of limiting. What's the middle column? That's called rachamim. The rachamim is only on somebody that he needs rachmanis, meaning that from himself he doesn't really deserve what you're giving him, but since he needs it, you should give him. So you're not giving to everybody. You're not giving to some random person that doesn't need it. You're only giving to someone that needs, even though you don't owe him anything, but you still give him because he needs. That's called rachmanis. So it's between kindness and severity. Kindness means you give everyone. Severity means you don't give to anyone unless you owe them something. And mercy means if they need it, then you give them even though they don't deserve it. So we're going to connect the idea of kindness and severity to the idea of seeing and hearing. The idea of seeing is connected to chachma, wisdom, which is on the right side, the right aspect of the spheres, and shmi, hearing, is connected to understanding, which is on the left side. Which, like we said, the chachma means a flash of insight that you can interpret in many ways, and which is the idea of expression and extension. And bina means you're limiting, it's only this. And this is connected to hearing and seeing. Like that's the idea of the two Shvatim, Reuven and Shimon. The Reuven is called Reuben, to see, my son, and Shimon means to hear. Ki shama Hashem be'ani. That Re'iyah, seeing, is from above to below. Meaning, when you're looking at something, you're looking at something outside of you, and your vision, your ability to see, your vision power is coming in to look at that thing. And that's how you know about what's going on outside of you. Whereas hearing is from below to above, that the letters of sound, or sound waves, are coming into your ear. So, in other words, the difference between hearing and seeing is that seeing is you're extending yourself outwards to see things, and you can see very far because you're extending your ability to see as far as it can go. Whereas Shmiya means those things that are coming into you from where you are. And so that's from below to above, so that's very limited. So you can only hear things which are right near you that are willing to come all the way into your ears, those sound waves. Huh?
Speed of sound is slower.
That's right, speed of sound is slower than speed of light. Was it Gamkin Hariyah Nishpal Samata Yosem Hashmiya Shurda Vergashmi Mashenkin Hashmiya Hirak Koil Vidibur Kiyam Riyah Mukhanas Khadarich Kanoida Shesed Abba Arikhulu. And this is also why you see physical things and you hear sounds which are more spiritual, because since the idea of seeing is that you're extending yourself downwards, so it goes all the way down into seeing physical things. That the higher something is, it's extended itself lower. And so since the ability to see is from a very high soul power, and it's the idea of extending itself downwards, it extends as low as it can go. How low can it go? To see something physical. Whereas hearing is the idea that it should come up to you. So it's not such a high thing and not extending itself low. So you're hearing sounds which are more spiritual and they're coming into your ear. So that's the idea that seeing is connected to kindness, that you're extending yourself down, and hearing is connected to severity, that's coming up to you. This is connected to what it says, I'm going to come down and see. When it says the outcry that's coming to me, the cry meaning what Hashem is hearing, which that's from the aspect of Bina. That's just coming from below to above. And that's from the aspect of left. In other words, the way that Hashem is looking in a way of severity, that because they did this, that's what they deserve, that's like the idea of hearing. That He hears what happened, and this is what they did, and therefore this is what they deserve. That's the idea of hearing, and that's the idea of severity. That He hears what happened, and He decided in His court case what should be. But that I should come down and see, that means kindness. In other words, there's taking the facts of what happened, and then how I should look at those facts, how I should think about those facts. So the facts themselves show that Saddam should be destroyed. That's called Shemiya, Milamata Lamaila. That the facts are that they did bad things, so they should be destroyed. Whereas, I'm going to come and see, meaning I'm going to put my perspective into this and see maybe there's a reason why they did this. So then I could find a way to get them out of it.
Which means with Gevurah.
Meaning I'm going to use my kindness to overcome that severity. Meaning if my perspective will be enough positive to find a way why it's not so bad, then I can get out from destroying them. So what does that mean? It means, Rashi said at the beginning, that to teach you that judges have to see. What does it mean judges have to see? Meaning they have to use their kindness. They have to see favorably at what's going on. That's Rashi's telling us. That just like Hashem, He makes sure to see favorably our situation, to look in a way of kindness at what's happening, and not just take the hard, cold facts, but to look positively and put a positive perspective on it. That means, that teaches us that that's what we should do, that whenever all the situations we have in life, we shouldn't just say, oh, these are the hard, cold facts. But we should have to see, before you paskin, before you decide, you have to see and put your positive perspective, the Torah perspective, and a positive perspective, a kindness perspective on it, so that it should come out to good things. Let's continue tomorrow with the next mimer.